mentioned the great week before the game.
What do you mean, great week?
A great week. You said a great week of preparation.
For this week, you're saying, or are you
Sorry,
referring to last week?
going up to Florida State before that game.
I said that?
You said that, yeah, before.
Oh, just,
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I mean, I think our guys did. I mean, defensively, I felt like that we were pretty honed in. These guys have already shown me yesterday how bad they want it and how they're going to respond.
They've shown you how bad they want it. They've shown you how bad they want it. I know Kalen DeBoer was standing on the sidelines. I know his view was a hell of a lot better than mine, but were we watching the same game on Saturday? I know for damn sure we couldn't have been watching the same team because there were moments in that game where the Alabama team I was watching looked like they didn't even want to be there. I'm starting to wonder if Kalen DeBoer wants it. Whatever the hell the it is that he was talking about, maybe the it is the buyout package that he will receive once he gets fired. In that case, I'm sure Kalen DeBoer wants it. But I don't know if he has what it takes. I don't know if he has the mentality, the killer instinct to survive at Alabama and the SEC. You know, coaches like Nick Saban, Bill Belichick, and I know he got his ass kicked last night, but that doesn't change his mentality, his approach. Coaches like Sean Payton, they seem to be a dying breed. You know what all three of these dudes have in common? They have no tolerance for bullshit. When you were in Nick Saban's locker room, it didn't take you very long to figure out that you were not part of a democracy. There were no voting rights. There was no First Amendment. Hell, there was no Bill of Rights, period. When you were in Nick Saban's locker room, you were exposed to tyrannical leadership. There was one voice. There was only one way. His way. If you didn't like it, you could get the hell out. If you didn't like 2-a-days and 90-degree heat, you could get the hell out. If you thought, Coach is being a meanie, he yelled at me and hurt my feelings, you could get the hell out. Nick Saban did not care about your feelings. He didn't care about the girlfriend that expected you to text her at halftime. Nick Saban cared about one thing: winning. Maybe it's just me, but this coaching style, it just doesn't seem as prevalent today. I was talking to one of my friends the other day. His kids on the football team, they had their first game last week. Throughout the game, the quarterback just refused to throw the football. Had plenty of time in the pocket, but all he wanted to do was run. It was essentially a one-man show that no one asked to see. After the game, my friend asked his kid what was said in the locker room. Did the coach get on the quarterback's ass? Did you and your teammates get on his ass? No, we can't do that. We can't make him feel bad. He said he was just nervous. He didn't want to make a mistake. Didn't want to make him feel bad? Who cares about his feelings? Why should his feelings take precedence over the other 21 starters on the field? He also told his dad that some players would no-show practice or they would show up late. Now, when I was in high school, if you no-showed practice without explanation, without notice, you wouldn't have to worry about no-showing again because your ass would be off the team. At minimum, you were running miles until you passed out, and when you woke up, you were running more. Coaches like Nick Saban, they don't do this because they're assholes, even though they are. They don't do this because they enjoy watching someone suffer. The reason they do it is to set the tone. They make an example out of someone, and most of the time, they've only got to do it once. They're trying to make players realize that they're functioning as one. When you have a collective, a group, functioning as one, you cannot have a weak link. Basically, Nick Saban installed a culture of discipline. And based on what I have seen the last 12 to 18 months with Kalen DeBoer, the culture of discipline has completely eroded in Tuscaloosa. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel in the description below. Today on the second channel, going to be talking about the ratings declines and overall declining interest in the WNBA dump. This toxic turd has been exposed, and they can't rely on the Great White Hope to further the illusion because Caitlin Clark ain't coming back. Uncle KC has been telling you guys for months, and you guys are smart, you know this. The only reason the WNBA is in the mainstream is because of Caitlin Clark. I'll give you the updated rating, so if you haven't already, click the link in the description below, subscribe to the second channel. When you're not winning, and when you're going through uninspiring performances and losses the way Alabama is under Kalen DeBoer, everything becomes a big deal. Everything is under the microscope, especially in a place like Alabama where they not only expect greatness, they also have nothing else to do but focus on their beloved elephant. I know Ohio State fans are passionate. I know Michigan has a great fan base, but I'm telling you right now, it's hard to understand the passion that Alabama fans have for this team unless you have been exposed to it. They do not play about their Alabama football. When you're failing to meet expectations, everything becomes magnified. What I'm about to show you is exactly what I'm talking about. After their humiliating loss at Florida State, Alabama fans, they started digging into player social media. They came across this video that was filmed in the locker room of Alabama players who seemed to be auditioning for Dancing with the Stars. The video was portrayed like it was filmed right after the game, but this video was uploaded to TikTok on July 18th. I muted the sound for copyright reasons, but watch it for yourself. Naturally, the Alabama fan base was outraged. Hell, they were outraged enough after the loss. This audition for Dancing with the Stars, it was the fuel that kept this flaming ass fire burning for another 3 days. For starters, I don't care when this video was filmed, July 18th, June 18th, March 18th. I have a hard time believing that this same thing would happen under Nick Saban. Not because Nick Saban was constantly monitoring his players. I don't think players would be comfortable doing this because they would be afraid of the consequences. You could see in the video, players are extremely comfortable goofing off in Alabama's locker room. They're not worried about the consequences because there probably are none. Now, as a standalone incident, is this a big deal? Not really. But if you're Kalen DeBoer, it's all about the optics. When you combine this video with uninspiring performances, when you combine this video with embarrassing losses against Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, the uninspiring performance against Michigan and something called the ReliaQuest Bowl, what the hell is the ReliaQuest Bowl? It's bad enough that Alabama was playing in that meaningless bowl game to begin with. But then you get on the field and you refuse to show up. You're down 16-0 at the end of the first quarter. As a standalone incident, video, not really a big deal. But when you combine the video with everything else, it gives the portrayal that Alabama is a program that lacks discipline, lacks commitment. And that is something that never happened with Nick Saban. You never had to question the commitment of his team. You never had to wonder if Alabama was disciplined. Now, I'm sure you noticed Nick Saban has been mentioned consistently throughout this video. Is it fair to compare Kalen DeBoer to Nick Saban? Probably not. But that's what happens when you're the coach who replaces the legend. Dennis Allen was never going to succeed as the head coach of the Saints. Dennis Allen was actually set up for failure. Why? For starters, he's incompetent. He's not qualified to be a head coach. But management, Mickey Loomis, they were trying to have Dennis Allen replicate the culture of Sean Payton. Same with the fan base. They kept talking about continuity. They kept talking about maintaining the culture. That isn't possible. There was no way for Dennis Allen to replicate the culture because the dude who installed the culture was no longer there. Players did not respect Dennis Allen the way they respected Sean Payton. And from the outside looking in, Kalen DeBoer seems to be dealing with the same problem. Kalen DeBoer seems like a nice guy. When he was coaching at Washington, the nice guy routine worked. You're living in the Pacific Northwest. You're living in Seattle. People are stoned by halftime. They don't remember who won or lost. They don't remember what happened in the first half before they passed out. They care about feelings more than they care about winning. Being the nice guy is easy in Seattle. It doesn't work in Tuscaloosa. Bear Bryant, Gene Stallings, Nick Saban, three legendary coaches at Alabama, three of the most respected coaches in the history of college football. You know what they have in common besides national championships? They were all tough. They demanded respect. They were feared. Can you use any of those adjectives to describe Kalen DeBoer? Alabama is no longer feared. Florida State told them before the game, we're going to kick your ass. And then they went out and they did it. Instead of being a fear team, Alabama has become a finesse team, and that dog won't hunt. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.